Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending where you're at, folks. It's Malroy George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, I have a busy week. This is my third interview this week, and I got another one coming up. It's tiresome, folks. It's tired. And like I said, I do appreciate this lovely lady to take her time out here and to sit and talk with us and share her path how she gets into the sport of bodybuilding. So we have here NPC physique competitor, Stephanie Watts. And Stephanie is also, she's a trainer and a coach. And I follow, when some people I follow, I saw pictures of her. I said, wow, I want to talk to chick. You know how you guys are like, this chick, I want to holler at this chick for a minute, see what she's about. So anyway, folks, let's introduce the lovely Miss Watts and ask her, how should a lovely like yourself get into sports of muscle and masculinity?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, I started off basically as a ballerina. So I was dancing in ballet. I was maybe 80 pounds less than I was at my bulk. So maybe 100 pounds soaking wet, really just tiny little thing. And I was lifting weights with a friend of mine one day. I'd never lifted weights before in my life. And he said, hey, come work out with me. I said, you're hot. Okay, I'll do that. And I tried to do a bench press with the bar over the chest, and it crushed me. I absolutely couldn't do it. I was weak. And I was like, wait a minute. That's not cool. So I started researching, muscle women and seeing what that looked like. And I thought, oh my God, I want to look like that. They're so beautiful. And that lit the spark right there. It's the fire.
Yeah, that's good. You found passion because you know what? When I got to this, I was like, this is a story I always tell everybody in my interviews. How I got into bodybuilding was my brother used to play football here in our hometown, and he used to get the muscle mags. Back then, he was playing good part of the '80s. You had the tail end on Schwarzenegger's career. You had Lee Haney coming up, guys like Dorian Yates like that, and I grew up in the good part of the '80s where popular cartoons were He-Man and Thundercats, and they had the big muscle dudes. But then as I started getting older, especially getting that age where you're right about your tween years, and then I seen women like Corey Everson and
Yes.
also Linda Murray coming up, and I just they kind of tickle my pickles, I guess I got to say. But
Yes.
and it was just something different because, like I said, I'm from North Carolina, and all women are you don't see a lot of women like of your ilk around here. But I got to meet some ladies about a year ago, where I went to an event in right here down the road, Rayford, North Carolina. This guy I know, he's got a magazine out called Amazon Fitness Magazine. He was doing a release party, and one lady I did an interview a while back with. He introduced me to him. I did an interview with him. He had a release party. I went there. I got to meet two ladies I did interviews with, and also meet other ladies that were in the sport of bodybuilding and fitness. It was a great opportunity for me.
Right. That's amazing. I've actually seen, Amazon Fitness Mag. Yeah, he seems like a great guy. So looks awesome.
Yeah. That's it. And what really appealed you about this sport, especially coming from ballerina? Because somebody told me that you ballerina girls, you be buff. You got the strong legs. You got you're on tippy toes, and that's the guys.
Right. Well, that's the interesting thing because, as a ballerina, you want to be muscular and strong, yes, but it's very lean muscle. It's not super bulky. Whereas this bodybuilder stuff is bulky. And so I actually originally decided to do this to become a female bodybuilder all the way, the top division bodybuilding. I'm sort of in physique now, and we'll see where things go from here. But I love the size. I love the density. I mean, I like actually taking up space in the world and in where I'm at. So it's very empowering for me.
Yeah. You're like, remember the movie Deuce Bigelow says, that's one huge bitch. So that's.
Yes. That is the best compliment ever to me. If you call me big or that's a big girl, I'm just like, yes.
I did an interview about a couple weeks ago with an NBA IFB pro, Angela Nori. She's 6 foot. I think she's like almost 6 foot tall. And she said, yeah, I'm proud to be called a huge bitch. And she takes it, she owns it. And like I said, the other side, people got to understand that you ladies, you commit yourself to the sport. It's a tough sport, especially in amateur levels, how, the cost of competing, this and that and everything else. It's just, people got to understand that it's not just like about just lifting weights and, and popping a magic pill. You have to follow a diet, you have to be consistent. It's just a lot of work put into the sport. Folks, we got some people that's come through here. We have my man Tony97 coming through saying, you look in great shape. It doesn't surprise me you were a ballerina, your physique is very elegant indeed. You know, you got a fan here. We have here Eric, I think it's Psycho. Stephanie Watts is amazing. Gonna take the word by storm. You know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you know, and you see guys like this, like this. You know, I remember, you know, talking about that episode of Chappelle's Show when Charlie Murphy meets Prince, and then there's that guy Nikki Free hanging with him, and they thought Nikki Free was a chick. Said, "Shalimar got a new girl. She fine as a motherfucker." And every time we get new girls in here, guys act like that. I say, "Joe's got a new girl. She fine as a motherfucker." They just get silent, you know.
I love that. I'm here for it all. I mean, I've got a lot of fans on my, well, not a lot, but you know, a few fans on my Instagram accounts, and I love that. It's such a, you know, wonderful thing to me. I really appreciate that. I'm so honored. So thank you guys.
Well, we appreciate you because, like I said, you know, I said again, it's tough to be a woman in this sport and to compete. You know, and as you know, bodybuilding is more considered very more masculine. You know, is
Right.
you know, for back in the day when it started, I think it's been around for almost 60 or 70 years, just about. And it was for a long time with men. Then around about the, I would say the late 60s, early 70s, women got into it, but it was more like bikini when it first started. But like anything, it evolved. You know, the girls were wearing high heels. They were in good condition. Then it went up from, they were like, kick off the high heels and still had a good amount of muscle. And then as like anything, it kept steadily evolving. You know, you have more shows out here. You know, I think with the women's divisions, at least 6 divisions compared to the men. And, you know, like anything, it's just, you know, you got to find your place in the sport. If you feel it's physique or bodybuilding, it's all dependent. So, you know, we're going to dip in her social media real quick. So we're going to look at some pictures here. And guys, and his guys, you know, hey guys, just be okay. Be cool. Be cool, okay? You know, just be cool, okay? Okay. Be cool. Yeah. And I like that one time, the one right here you got in your story. I mean, I think it's okay, you know, here's this right here. You got it pinned up.
Oh yeah, I'm proud of that one.
I mean, wow. I mean, who took the picture? Who's the photographer?
His name is Billy Ray. His hashtag there, or his screen name is Tanner Epic Photography. He's an amazing photographer. Love his work.
And also, I see a name I recognize. Goop, you too.
That is my coach. Yes, I'm sure you've all heard of him.
yes, I heard of him. I most definitely heard of Mr. Goop because I follow him a bit. He called out a certain bodybuilder on my channel whose name I do not speak, and I treat her like Harry Potter movies, Lord Voldemort, name we do not speak. You know, because
yeah, for sure.
And he called her out, and here it is with here's I think this was which shows was this that you competed at?
So that was back in 2020. That was in, oh geez, I'm trying to remember. Was that in Contra Costa? Oh shoot, it was some sort of NPC show back in 2020. I'm not remembering the name. I apologize.
That's all right. You know, it's your carb depleted, so you're really low on your memory.
Yeah, the memory is it's quite terrible there. But yeah, that's the baby start. I'm hoping to be a lot bigger than that this time around.
Yeah. So what was your first division you started? Was you straight into physique, or you did figure, or you did bikini? Which ones you did?
Oh, I had to do figure first. I was not going to do bikini. Nothing against it. I personally just am not a fan of the look on myself. I prefer the bigger muscular look. So yeah, figure was my first start. And then that was my first time hitting physique. I did qualify for nationals at that point, but my coach and I were like, I don't want to get laughed out on stage at nationals, so I'll wait. Yeah. And here we are now.
And here you were a lady that I reached out to also. That's how I found about you. And you and Hannah Hussein,
Yeah, that's my friend. Yeah, she's amazing. She's a few more weeks ahead of me than I am in her prep as well. So we're both kind of on a similar track here. It's great.
Yeah, because I know she was on. She did an interview with Ryan on DD on the Spot, and she was announcing she's going to do the Miss International, which is back in the day. Miss International was originally it was a pro show. It was a secondary title from female bodybuilder next to the Olympia, but it's now the Wheel of Strength. Now it's a pro qualifier, and we got some
that's right
here. This one right here. I mean, Woo, I mean, okay. Hey guys. Hey. Keep the lotion tissue to yourself. Just keep calm. Be cool, fellas. Be cool.
Mm-hmm, gotta be cool.
Yeah, and that's the same guy or different somebody do that Photoshop.
No, that's a different photographer, actually. I was out in Ohio for that shoot. His name is Mike Beach. He's an incredible photographer as well. Love his work.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty cool. You got some good stuff out here. And like I say, you have a great physique, you have a great look. I mean, you do pretty well for yourself. Now,
Thank you.
yeah, like I say, hey, it's a gentleman's job to compliment a lady. It's just how
Much appreciated.
well, you're much appreciated here. So, like I said, this is how you feel about your chances for this upcoming season and anybody for yourself.
I'm not one to be super cocky or confident about things, but I do feel pretty strongly that I'm going to do well, at least in this local show for now. Nationals is a whole other level out in Pittsburgh. I think it's at the end of September. That's North Americans. And I think I'll do well. I'm sitting right now, I'm 5'9", I'm tall. So, I think that muscle looks different on a tall person versus a shorter person. So I might have a lot of muscle mass, but I'm not going to look as dense or compact as someone who's 5'3" or 5'4", But I'm feeling like I'll at least do well at this local show and maybe hopefully at least get first call outs at nationals if I can go to nationals.
And like I said, you're going to do a show. What's your show? You're coming up. It's coming up for you. It's a regional show you're doing in Tahoe.
Tahoe, yeah.
And what's the name of that show?
I think it actually is called just the Tahoe show.
Just Tahoe show. Just Tahoe.
Yeah, just Tahoe.
Right there in Nevada. People like just Nevada. It's one of the few states where prostitution is legal, but in only 10 counties.
That's right. And I'm not doing that, but I respect it, so it's all good.
I wouldn't recommend it. But you know what? This is one thing about the sport is like, especially for women, especially to try, because you have a career, you have a job, but what a lot of women do is to make income, is to do, I won't say, some do the harsh stuff, but ladies have to do OnlyFans, live streams, and sessions, stuff like that. Yeah. And that's the thing about, especially with the pro level. I talk about this quite often on my channel that, there should be a little bit more, assistance after when you hit that pro card and you hit that next level. It's amateur. You still should have like one thing is like, I remember I was talking to one person said they did a show a while back where they had people there in the back to take care of the blood work. You had a doctor there testing everything like that. And, I know you've done shows where sometimes you just basically just being moved around here and there. And I've seen situations where I did an interview a while back with a lady, her name is Jennifer Seda, and she competed in Olympia about, nearly 20 years ago. And she fainted on stage. And, it was right there on the Olympia stage. And that's the tough part. But like I said, people got to remember that when your ladies are in your super condition, that's when you're really at your weakest.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. It's scary. And I've yet to have anything really bad happen to me. It's my coach, you got to be lean. Of course, you have to do some pretty extreme cardio measures and, food deprivation and things like that, but I've never had a bad experience like that personally. It's a scary, extreme sport, but I honestly think that's sort of what makes it so great, and that makes it so it's not everyone can do this. Not that I'm trying to be elitist about it, but it's hard. You got to be really dedicated, as you said, the diet, the training, the magic stuff, everything. That's just what it takes to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, and then also the cost of being competitive. That you have to go to a show, quick cross sometimes the other side of the country, or sometimes the other side of the ocean. Then, it costs you a bikini, your posing suit will cost you that. You got to this and that, coach and a trainer. I mean, it's a lot. And, I have a friend told me because it's kind of a poor man's sport, but, it's still sport. But I remember back in the day when I was coming up, you used to watch bodybuilding on television. You used to remember coming out on like networks like NBC, and you used to watch on ESPN and other networks. But then the last few years, it's just, you watch cornhole. And throwing darts and bowling's been around for a long time, but you understand that, but it's still I'm still a fan of the sport. We got some people that came through here. This kid, he's a hater. He calls me George the Brainiac of female bodybuilding. I am not Brainiac. I just pay attention to information I learned. Like this is one of my favorite quotes. My master taught me to be aware of your surroundings at all times. The demon's head draws our goal. He taught me that. Never give sure footing for killing blow, young Master George. Yeah. And also, this is for man, Lawrence Perkins. Good afternoon, Stephanie, George, and everyone in the chat. Happy Thursday. I appreciate you, man. And KL also is this. You're telling me to be cool. I'm going crazy looking at her pics. Yeah, be cool, man. Be cool. I know, hey, come on, man, be cool. He said like this. He said, nice pics. He also said, you and Hannah make a perfect duo. I mean, it's pretty good. How long have you known Hannah?
Oh God, has it been a year? I don't know if it's been a whole year yet, but I reached out to her to shoot maybe, I guess maybe 8 months ago now or something, or it's been a year. I can't quite keep track. But now we shot together once for some content and just became really good friends. And now I go bug her in Houston every few months, and she's amazing. I love her. So
that's good. It's good to have a good friendship. I know she lives in Texas. You're in California. That's clear across the other side of the world. Might as well say for me. But yeah, it's good to find friendships in this sport. One is that says, how tall is Stephanie? She says she's 5'10". So that's 5'9". 5'9". Okay. That's good. Thank you for correcting me. Mm-hmm. And also he says, hi, Lawrence Perkins. I'm artwork guy. Whatever. Okay, we skipped that part here. He said, if she's moved for a bit of a flex, I wouldn't ask nobody you want to, unless you want to. That's up to you. I would never ever ask anybody that, but that's up to you.
I'm a bodybuilder. You don't have to ask me twice. I'll do it. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can get a better angle for you guys.
Get a better angle.
Let's do a little more. But yeah, I'll get a nice good bicep for you. Oh, it's better to see.
Yeah. Pull it to the side a little bit, right there in the center. Yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, put away the lotion in the lube. I mean, stay calm, be cool. I mean, there's hey, this is the thing like she's posing like that. Hey, we're not the judges here. We're just people out here, folks. If you want to follow Stephanie, her social media stuff in the description. Reach out general interest with her. But guys, I got something I got to tell you guys. I tell them all the time. No D pics.
Oh.
Stop it. Get some help. Don't do that. I mean, and that's the thing about this sport. A lot of people thinking like there's people that don't like women muscle. They feel like women muscle just turn off. But they're the guys who like it a little too much. They get a little excited. When you ladies on the stage and you're pumped up, you're oiled down, and sometimes they say, I don't know what to do with myself. Should I go into the bathroom, go to my room? And and it's just that. It's just sometimes it's good to have that, that fan base, especially for women. Mm-hmm. It's a lot harder compared to the men. As you know, if you look over the men's division, is always going to get more attention because the fact is it's the ones that bring in the money, especially for promoters and sponsors. Women's bodybuilding, it's just there's not as much as lucrative way for unless you, like I said again, you do something like OnlyFans or you do sessions, stuff like that. Guys, I think I got a friend, he's a physique competitor, men's physique competitor. And he told me sometimes he'll get DMs for guys for feet pics or something like that. It's weird. It's weird like that.
Honestly, that stuff doesn't bother me. You think that it would? I mean, I get plenty of D pics. That's kind of what happens. But at least for me, I take it as a compliment. I'm very flattered. And the reality is, I totally support the OnlyFans thing. I think that a lot of people do it, and there is so much money in the OnlyFans, especially for women as well. I personally just don't have the drive to do my career in that direction. Nothing against it. I love it, support it. It's a big thing. But I want to do something different. Actually, I'm getting my master's in therapy to become a marriage and family therapist. So I want to be in that space of like helping people with their hearts and minds and stuff. So that's where I'm going with that. But I mean, I love the idea of having the fans like that are interested in the feed pictures and whatever the trap things, the most muscular, all that stuff. It's all good to me.
Yeah, the most muscular, we call it the crab pose. That pose, we love that pose. We just, especially when y'all ladies are in condition or, I remember this is what I used to be, when I was younger, I used to be on this chat room for especially guys fed up bodybuilding. And this guy told me, said, there's a saying, like, you ladies rock hard, we're rock hard. And, we just get excited by just the look of it. And just, some people may not understand it, but it's just something different. Especially we take the woman, the feminine form and change it from, as soft and, very feminine to very muscular and athletic. We got here, my man, this is Eric Psycho saying, Stephanie's going for the gold. Only upward, baby. Also, we have in my name Tony says, what is your target weight for bulk season? So,
that's a great question. So I've always wanted to hit 200 pounds, but my coach has never let me get that far. I usually hit about 180, 185, and then he's like, all right, you're too fat. You got to start leaning down. Yeah, but I like being big. I love being big. It's actually, I feel more beautiful when I'm bigger. I love the shreds, of course, and the abs, but I feel bigger. I feel better when I'm bigger and looking more scary.
Yeah. So what body part you feel like you need to work on when you're training? Which is your best favorite? Which was your favorite?
Ooh, okay, so the one that I have been working on this whole off season has been my back. I just was told in my last show, like, hey, you got your front's really shredded, you got some size there, but your back is just not, it's lacking. So this whole off season, I think my back is in my biggest point of improvement. I think I've done a good job on that. And then my best, it's funny. So my back side, my whole back side, back, glutes, hamstrings won't get shredded as fast as my front side does. So my chest will come in really well, arms come in well, abs, quads, weeks out before a show. And still got to kind of wait for the back to come in. But I'd say definitely my arms and abs and my quads are really my big strong point.
Yeah, because I know the back sometimes has win or play some girls in shows. I mean, I've seen, like, I remember a few years ago, I did an interview with Rashada Boswell, and that was back in like about 2020. And I think it was right after she did Chicago. She took second to Teresa Vasic. And then she said the thing was because, Teresa, if you ever saw Teresa has a big, wide back. And, and with Shauna, I got to meet with Shauna. She came down here to North Carolina. She was there. She did a seminar in Fayetteville last July, that 4th of July weekend. And to meet her and, and just and so many other ladies, it's just, the words are just sometimes escape my mouth, but it doesn't escape the other guy. It's the other guy. He says, like, it's just fun to meet these lovely women of muscle and to have times with them and talk with them because it completes me. It makes me feel special because sometimes what doesn't kill us make us stranger. He has to come out every now and then. So we got a gentleman here because it seems like the name kind of familiar with yours. Lloyd Watts. He says, "Looking great, Stephanie. Do we know this gentleman? Who is he?"
We do. That's my dad. Hey, Dad.
Oh, she does. Hey, Mr. Watts. We're not doing any stage with your daughter. What he said, sir. Mr. Watts, please, sir, if you don't have no problem, I don't want no trouble. I'm gonna be real nice to your daughter. I want you to feel beholden, but I'm gonna appreciate. I'm going to put on my Festus, Haggins hat every now and then. I watch a lot of westerns, like Gunsmoke, like that. Also, we got here Lawrence Perkins saying, "It's been last year in 2022." So okay, let's say that. And also, I think it's been almost 20 years. You haven't seen female bodybuilding on TV. Yeah, I mean, I think at least 20 years about that. Also, Mateo Gaming YT says, "Hi, George." Hi there, Mateo. Welcome. Also, we have here Tony saying, "Will you ever work with her biceps?" They do photo shots. I did get an interview with a guy who does work with her biceps sometimes. That's Sean Nelson. And I know Sean lives in Vegas. He's touring right now. I don't know. He says he's gonna be back in Vegas. It's in California. If you like, I will send you some information. I send his link. You can, he told me that he's always looking for people who want to work with him and do photo shoots like that. And and I know I think Hannibal might have worked with a few times. If even one of you used to work with him. So yeah. And also we have here, amazing biceps, but the past part of your thighs. I think he says.
Oh, my best part.
Yeah. Best part. I think he's probably saying best part of your thighs. He's probably saying best part. He said, "I don't say it's past." Working your spell check. And as a competitor, what would you think? What you would like to see in this sport? For yourself, as where you wanna go in the future.
For me personally, yeah. So for me, I mean, I have every intention of getting the pro card, IFBB pro, women's physique, and then ideally going to the Olympia and maybe winning the Olympia. That's always been my ultimate goal, is to win the Olympia there. So take on someone like Natalia Coelho or Sarah Villegas. I want to be up there with them and see if I can actually compete with them.
Yeah, because I know Tyler's competing this year, and I personally, I'm like this. I've talked about this. She's a top dog. I don't see no reason why you're doing a show like that. I know some people say it's about competition, but still, you're top of the heap already. Why you want to step into the battlefield where everybody else, where you have your spot? I mean, I talked about this. Even like one of my favorites, Andrea Shaw. She does the Rising Phoenix, and I'm saying that because she's contracted, because that's the Jake Wood show. Big fan of Jake Wood. He's done good stuff for women's bodybuilding. Right now, it's not a good year for women's bodybuilding. Cut out a lot of shows for them. Got kicked out shows here and there, and it's tough. Even your division, physique, is starting to drop off because and so. And I've talked about this. One of my favorite all-time actors when I was growing up as a kid, Arnold. He took and he kicked out women's bodybuilding. Then turned kicked out physique, and then he took out for figure. I say, why kick out figure? I mean, you think it's one thing. I don't care about 212. That's the men. That's their business. That's their problem. But then one people say how raising the prize money in the men's division, but you tell me you just excuse it. Well, nobody want to see the women. No one. Come on, that's an excuse. That's a lot of BS. That's a lot of BS. Bullshit.
I know. That was really unfortunate. I saw that. I was like, really, man, what you doing? Like, it just seemed like it didn't make sense to me. And I mean, I understand that, this stuff, maybe we don't bring in the money as the female competitors, but I mean, we're still a part of the sport. And I mean, what's the reason for cutting us out and leaving the men out in as well? It doesn't make sense to me.
And he keeps most of the TNA division that is, TNA division that's bikini and wellness. And I can understand because there's a easier turnover. Guys do like I said, I used to work in one of my jobs. I used to have quite a few jobs coming up. One of my jobs, I used to work at a strip club, or we call it in the hood, we call it the booty club, the booty bar. And you don't want to see the guys want to see get chick with nice jugs, want to see chick with a fat ass. That's what they want to see. Right. We got a man here, KL. He's a hater. He says, "Nice flex, Stephanie. I could be judged. Stop telling her to flex, George. Face blue, smiling, whatever. Hater." Yeah, let him hate you. Can't hate no more. Also, JC Dub says vacuum poses are great too. I don't like the vacuum poses. I don't really like them.
They are great. I'm not good at mine yet. I'm still pretty bulky in here, so I need to get more tightening up.
Yeah. Yes, get your master's on therapy. You have. You don't have to get OnlyFans. Yeah, you don't have to. That's true. And also,
I've had so many requests.
Yeah, you don't have to get. Yeah, I know a lot of guys. Like I said, this thing about we guys like. And I know her dad's here, and we don't want to say that.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm trying to respect for Mr. Watts, but we have people in here that's not too respectful. But it's a way, like I said again, make some profit. I know quite a few ladies that do it, and it's just
Me too.
it's just basic income, that's like this. But also we have here, my man Eric Psycho saying brains and blonde crazy. That's what it is. Also we have here Tony saying, how difficult is juggling between internship, modeling, and training? Do you wish you could dedicate most of your time to the gym? Now, how often do you go to the gym during the week?
Well, believe it or not, this usually surprises most people, but I only lift weights 3 days a week. That's it. I mean, it's maybe about 1.5, 2 hours per session that I do it, but it's just 3 days a week. And then the rest of the days I'm resting. Otherwise, I don't grow at all. My body seems to respond better to more rest days. So, which is good. That gives me more free time to, do my internship, do my master's degree, my personal training, the modeling, all that stuff. So I got a lot of balls in the air.
Got a lot of balls to keep yourself busy. Because some competitors say they don't like the rest days. They don't like the rest days. They want to be busy. But what works best for you, that's what it's about. Because, something might not work for this person. Somebody might go 5-6 times in a day in the gym. Some might go less, some go more. It's just about what works for you in your process. Man, JC Dub here is saying Stephanie traps look pretty good. Off season, keep up the good work. Yeah, she had the traps.
There you go.
She had the boulder shoulders. This guy is about to say, I would pay you if I could be a massage therapist, Stephanie. They say, I agree with you, Stephanie. You do look way better than you're bigger. Can't wait to see you at the end of the bulk season. I hope you will focus your training more on your quads in the future. Yeah, and also your dad says, all good. Thank you, sir.
He's good. He knows where I'm at, what I'm doing here. And that's like I said, I have no secrets. So
and that's a good thing, your parents supporting you like that. And that's good because some people I've had some people say, like, especially like, is your mom, like, will she ever say like, honey, I don't think I want you to be that big and muscular. I already have a son. I don't want another boy,
No, I've actually got a younger sister, and she's a runner, so she's a nice little tiny twiggy tall thing. And honestly, it wasn't my look that was the big issue for my family. I think it more was these supplements that were a bit scary for them. And I still get that. I understand that it's definitely a risk that we take doing this stuff, but I did a bunch of research on it myself, and I accept the changes that are going to happen and the risks that I'm taking on this stuff because it's what I love to do, and they know that I love to do this so much, so they're okay with it, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, it's good that you have to support your family, friends. You have a sister, your family like that. It's good to have the support. Because it's sometimes some ladies, I know somebody told me said they have lost friends because the lifestyle change. Because you can't go out, and do like you want to do, drink this and that. Because like your coach say, hey, I got to rest, and I got to do this, I got to do that. You can't. I mean, one lady told me how she went to a friend's wedding, and she brought her a cooler with her. She didn't eat like at a wedding, say you have your choice, chicken, fish, or steak. And she brought her own food because she couldn't eat the food there. And those decisions you got to make is about getting to that next level. You can't understand that factor of it. Then there's nothing you can do. You're gonna lose friends, but hey, sometimes you gain new friends here. We got here my man KL, as you know, he's a hater again. He says like Mark Hamill was the best Joker. Now I'm gonna give you that. I love Mark Hamill. Luke Skywalker. The Batman animated series. I love that show. Rest in peace to the great Kevin Conroy as Batman. He said he's not gonna do Joker anymore. But like I said, I love Heath. Heath took see, I grew up in watching Batman TV show with Cesar Romero as a Joker. He never shaved that mustache, And I grew up, Jack Nicholson in the Tim Burton Batman.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And then Heath came along and he just took it and a sad thing about it was reason what made him kill himself because of how he was so inverse to his characters, but he just took that Joker and he's just like like say like this, like this is my favorite one. My father was a drunk and a fiend. My mother never liked one bit. And put the blade in my mouth. He said to me, "Why so serious? Let's go to smile on your face."
Yeah, it was creepy. It gives you kind of goosebumps. Yeah,
it was really funny too. So like the part where he comes in, and he's dressed in the nurse's uniform, and he gets the fair part about it. Also, we had here KL says good luck on getting your pro card. He said wish you the best of luck on that. Also, we got here Tony saying, "I'm sure you will win the Olympia one day. Would you love to see your posing next to someone like Mario Wattel? I think she's a bodybuilder.
She's a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I think she's really tall. I think she's somewhere like Germany or something.
Yeah, she's European, I think.
Yeah, I've seen the name before, but I just like I said, there's so many women in sport that I usually keep up with the ones I really know. Like one of my favorites is Andrea Shaw. Oh my gosh, she's such a beautiful.
I know. She has done the perfect job of having the muscles and the femininity in the face as well. I mean, she does a perfect combination of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Also, like when another one I like is one I like is Mila Ash. There's also back in the day, someone was a big fan of was Lord Crave by Vicky Gates. I mean. Christina Bach. I actually, a while back, I went to my first bodybuilding show in Savannah, and I got to meet Alina Popa.
Yes, she is a beast. Oh my God. Yeah,
she's beautiful too.
So
and then, because it was the Linda Murray show. Linda was up in the front. I saw her. She turned around. She smiled at me. I wish I got to talk to her, but she was busy. I got to meet another lady who was a fan of back in the day, Annie Rivicchio. And Annie did a lot of photos and stuff like that. Yeah, Annie just, she's in a, can't believe 160 and still looks good. And I got me down Salib. I did an interview a while back with a couple of ladies. Kira Hall, she's a physique pro. Also, Sheena Olick. I was talking to Sheena. She's like with Dran. I gave her a candy bar. I said, eat that, you might feel a little better. And also the person I said about earlier, Renee, we do not speak. She was there, so I'm not too impressed by her. But like I say, hey, it was a nice to meet her anyway. Okay, here we have here my man Eric Psycho. Watch out, Maria. Stephanie's coming for the Olympia gold. Just a matter of time. and all, yeah, So this is the thing is, what do you feel as a competitor needs to change in bodybuilding in your mindset?
Ooh, so for women in like the women's division, or for everything, the whole
Just
sport?
in general, as a competitor, what you see that you feel like needs to change.
It's such a niche sport, and I feel like a lot of it goes under the radar, or it's more taboo in this whole muscle worship realm and stuff. And I mean, I think that it deserves more coverage. I think that there should be more of it, being posted or broadcasted on maybe these little cable stations here and there on TV. But like it's sort of a very niche thing that I think deserves more attention, just straight up more public attention for sure.
Yeah, I think that's one thing is like if you like one thing people always go. This one thing about talk about steroids, especially about bodybuilding. Steroids is always a factor. But if you look about every other sport, like even this is a friend of mine. She told me that even ballerinas take steroids because it's for recovery, helps develop muscle.
Right.
Some people do abuse it, but especially if you're like I know I did an interview with a lady who's a natural competitor. And the natural bodybuilding is not getting much attention because it's just basically just working out, you're building the muscle, but it's not as graphic, or it's just not as it doesn't draw people in as much compared to the NPC IFB level of bodybuilding, where
Which is unfortunate.
it's just how it is sometimes. People like how I say they like to see the freak shows. They like to see the big freaky guys, the big freaky chicks. That's the guy AJ. He says that quite often. They want to see that. They want to see guys like the big Ramis. They like to see the Brandon Rays, the Heidi Chopins. They want their how the divisions are starting to blur, especially between between women's bodybuilding and physique figure. I mean. Just if you saw the instead again, the Italians competing at the Pittsburgh tomorrow. There's one woman also competing at that show. Her name is Emily Sherbert. I follow her. Emily
she is a tank. I thought she'd be bodybuilding now. She's so big.
I mean, people say, well, it's just you're seeing that this, but then you look at her. I mean, she has like how guys. One guy I posted on my on one of my community section, my YouTube channel, as a guy say, her abductors, he says, like this is almost like close to a woman's bodybuilder. Then the physique, because you girls in the physique division, you don't have a lot of size in the quads, you're a little bit more leaner. But and then she just looks broad and shoulders. And I've talked about this, how this is the thing is some women they talk about, I don't want to sacrifice my femininity. I don't want to get into that. But if you look at yourself now, you're making those sizes, and it's just one thing. If either one of those women win, then the criteria is going to keep changing. The idea of physique was to come in to replace women's bodybuilding, to bring in a more feminine look that they want to see. I know I did an interview another day with a lady she's a big fan of Danielle Bailey. And Danielle, said even though she was very popular, she was still not as, still some areas she needs to work on. Then you had Julia McCall, who had a great balance of beauty and good amount of muscle. You had Shanique Grant. Then you go to Sarah Vilgus, who has a great physique. And she's doing good stuff for women's bodybuilding. She's stepping up, especially for physique. I know she wanted to put up $20,000 to have women's physique at Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. It was about money. She got it. Her husband's rich. I mean, you false Sarah. She's always flying to Leah Jet every often when they go to the Olympia.
Right, exactly. And that's amazing. I love that she was doing that. But yeah, it definitely, you're right. The lines they can get quite blurred, and they are getting quite blurred, I think, with how things are trending these days. Because if these bigger chicks are winning physique, then what does that say for bodybuilding, and where's the line, So it's tough. But then there is, as you said, that whole like awareness of wanting to maintain the femininity in the face and maybe the structure, but having all that muscle is really hard to find that balance.
Yeah, because especially because back in the day when I used to watch bodybuilding, they just wore basic posing suits, nothing too fancy, basically a bikini. But then after a while, it changed over time. You used to be just have one suit for a show. Now you have two. You have your prejudging, which is kind of just plain ordinary, and then you have your finals, which is like dazzled like that, and that costs us a lot. I mean, I know one lady. What she does to save her money, she'll order her suits from England because the cost would drop cheaper because the American dollar is less than the pound, and and sometimes someone would do like this. They go get used suits, or they take a suit and just redo it or whatever. It just any way to try to maybe save a few bucks. I mean, and with the guys, they got to put on a banana hammock and a pair of board shorts. That's about
That's
it.
it.
And spray
Yeah.
tan. You ladies have to put on your makeup, got to get your hair done, jewelry done. I mean, the tanning part. I know one girl. She said she was actually doing tanning. She's like, because it's so cold. You know, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you got to
Yeah.
get there, and then you have to. I mean, one friend of mine, she told me that what she do. So sometimes we do a show, she takes the towels with her because if she uses the towels at the motel, they'll charge you a lot of money. Especially you got to come back, you got to rest after doing the first tang, and come back another layer. It's just, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, and it's something that we love doing. I would say, at least for myself, it's not something you do for the money because there isn't a lot of money in this as a professional. I think there can be, but mostly that's not. You have to do this because you love it. I mean, otherwise it's just, yeah, it's super expensive. Yeah. A lot of time commitment, a lot of cold, temperatures and stuff, and it's fun tan and all the crazy stuff that goes along with it. But yeah, it's definitely something you do because you love it. Otherwise it's just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, you got to, like I said, Vale said they don't do it for the money. It'd be nice if you got a little something. Like one thing is why I say like this, and I know people may not agree with it, but if you get to that level, especially as a competitor, and like any sport, they make sure to take care of their competitors, especially in the pro league. I think you pay $200 or $300 a year for a pro card. I think like anything, it's like you paying your union dues, and when you're part of a union,
Yeah.
you should have benefits of it. Like, okay, if you want to go, okay, I got to get my blood work done. I might need get some life insurance, health insurance. I might need to, something might happen. There was a bunch of deaths like a few years ago, seemed like back to back, and just I've talked about this, how they should have been like, I mean, one guy, his family had to do a GoFundMe for him. I mean, you should have like, the insurance say, okay, something happens to you, you don't have to do a GoFundMe to get buried.
Yeah, that's right. Which actually is an interesting point, though. I mean, just mentioning that. I mean, it'd be nice if there was, once you did turn pro, sign a contract and do the whole thing. I mean, why couldn't there be some kind of benefits package or something? I mean, that seems like a smart thing to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, it would be smart thing to do, but you know how it is. It's this sport, like I said, is not as lucrative as it should be. If bodybuilding can get some big sponsors to back it up, you bring in big money. If you can think about like something like you look at basketball, football, baseball, those other sports, they have like Nike. Also, I do content on MMA. I'm a big fan of MMA. I do content on women on MMA. And those companies will have like sponsors, even though MMA fighters don't get paid much either compared to boxers. Like if you look at the top level MMA fighter, he still doesn't make more than maybe a guy who's not even a title holder. And those guys they don't have much benefits, because I do talk about this also on my channel, because my channel is about I used to, like I said, one thing is I grew up with my mother and 3 older sisters. There was like pretty much there was my mom and the 6 of us. I might always say 8 because she raised 2 of my nephews. And I always have a love respect for women. That's why I dedicated. Like I have people tell me, "Hey George, we do this, do that." I said, "No, everybody does that." Because you go on YouTube, that's not too many people that talk about the women. Most of the time it's mostly about the guys or the girls in bikini. Or just like there's myself. There's Didi on the spot. There's the Female Bodybuilding Channel. There's Dave Female Bodybuilding Forum. I think Rochelle Boswell started her own thing, and I think other people have started their own thing because women need to get the attention. We're always going to look at the bikini girls and the bodybuilders and like that, but women's bodybuilding has been around for nearly 50 years. I would say over nearly 60 years. Almost 50, about 50, 60 years. Almost 60 years. Started out around about the tail end of the 70s, so
yeah,
close to 50 years or so. And the legends that come through that sport, like people like Corey Everson, people like Linda Murray, people like Richard McLeish, people like Carla Dunlap, people like Indruda Bichette, those women paved the way for women like yourself. And they keep changing the rules. Like one point they wanted women to be 20% less muscle, but then then they put in a weight class, and then this, and then you brought your division in physique. It's supposed to be something as something different to get away from the mass muscle and all that. But it's just
I don't mind it. I mean, I appreciate the distinction of these divisions and having these different opportunities for people to, really capitalize on their own body type, because like for me, I could never do wellness. My butt doesn't get that big. So it wouldn't happen for me. But I got some big old broad shoulders and I have a wide stature, so I can work something like a figure or a physique or bodybuilding maybe. But I think at least for me personally, I have like an 8-inch long bicep or something. So that's going to take a long time to fill that thing out before it looks big enough for bodybuilding. So I could do physique and hopefully be more competitive and do well that way.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing. It's about being competitive. You got to put yourself where you fit in. Like I said, like we talked about earlier, how we've seen women who are should go up, but they say, yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to. But you can't. Like I said, you're evolving as an athlete, and if you lift heavy, you eat heavy, you do this, you do that, and then you try to keep yourself in a division where you don't fit. If you look at even the figure girls, how that division was supposed to come in because it was like a spin-off of fitness. Not a lot of the girls want to do jump around the chicken sweat, but it's just sport is evolving. Like I say, you sometimes I remember I was watching that the last year where they had figure at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. It was like behind the scenes video, and I'm looking at people like Mrs. Trescott and Jessica Padilla and Erica Deer and On Jung, and you say to yourself, "Am I looking at physique or figure?" I mean,
they're big.
It wasn't for the high heels, you wouldn't tell the difference.
Right. They're so built up top and their legs, and it's like, wait a minute, what division are you? Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. We got here a man, Eric Psycho, saying, he also has a question. He says, what type of impact do you want to have on the world through therapy and bodybuilding? Like, what you like say, you say studying family therapy, and would you like to, like, I know quite a few times I have conversations with ladies in sport of bodybuilding. Like sometimes, I remember sometimes I'm gonna have a long conversation. They're talking about how it's difficult, like especially if you're on certain supplements, supplements enhancers, especially if they're very heavy, they can affect your mind. Would you ever consider yourself maybe become a therapist to bodybuilders and also just doing the family thing too?
Literally, just I was going to say, my intention for doing this was, yes, it's a marriage and family degree for therapy, but I actually want to work with individuals more often. And I want to work with extreme level athletes, and I want to help with those who are either suffering from trauma. So trauma and extreme level athletes tends to go hand in hand, just a little sidebar there. But yes, extreme athletes, I think that anyone, bodybuilders, extreme sports, whatever it is, that level of pressure is so daunting, and it really messes with your mind. So I want to be able to help athletes with that. I want to help those who are suffering from trauma get through traumas. And I believe that I can use a body-based approach to do that. So it's all going to be intertwined.
Yeah, because coming from if you deal with bodybuilders coming from zero bodybuilder yourself, you understand what they go through. I think people will feel more comfortable because, I know there was a couple of times there was some suicides here and there, and I was like this, if you get to that point where your mind's going to a dark place, just reach out to somebody and talk to them. Don't be afraid, because especially in the Black community, we don't think mental health is a Black people issue, it's a white people issue, it's y'all issue. But we got to remember, people say race, Black and white race. No, we're humans. We're just different ethnic backgrounds, ethnicities. We're all humans. We bleed blood. We, even though like this, men and women are both humans with different species, but we're all under the same umbrella. We have to understand, we have a common background. We might have something like when I reach out to some ladies out here, I find something about them that I have something common with them. Like I know one lady, she a while back, she had issues with her heart. I said, well, I have a pacemaker. I know one lady, she talking about having issues being overweight. Say, well, I'm overweight. I mean, I know one lady says that she told me, well, she came from a big family. I came from a big family. This is, when I reach out to people like that, like yourself, I see things in you as I see in me. And even I remember, like I said, when I was taking my mom was sick for a long time. And, dealing with that was stressful. Sometimes that's why I had a YouTube channel before, but it didn't work out. And then I started this one where I just basically came on, talk about things. And then I said, you know what, I want to have something to talk about to give them my outlet, especially with the stress dealing with my mom's illness. And, I started doing videos, making content. After she passed, I said, I got a lot of free time now. So I started reaching out doing interviews and talking to some women who are still in the sport, talking to some legends in the past and up-and-comers like yourself. I have guys come and say, where'd you, like a couple weeks ago, I did an interview with Sherry Piami. I said, yeah, you just got Sherry Piami. Yeah. It doesn't matter. If I got Sherry Piami, that's great. But I love talking to people like yourself, who I call it this, who have your boots on the ground, 10 toes down, who are climbing up, who are maybe aspire someone out there saying, you know what, she's getting her degree in mental health. She's competing as a bodybuilder. Maybe I can do the same thing. Because you know what, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yes. And it's definitely not easy. I will tell you guys right now, yeah, it's absolutely not easy. It's super challenging. I personally thrive on being busy and having a lot of things going on, but yeah, there are times when I kind of go to bed at night. I'm just like, what am I doing? So it gets to be a lot, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's a lot for anybody, especially for a woman. Like I said
Yeah.
again, you're changing your body chemistry. And like I said, especially we say the magic pills we talk about, they are more that of the basic chemistry of men.
Right.
And and it does affect how like, especially how you look. I know some women, they get a little bit, they get the Vin Diesel voice, like 500, it's a yard a mile, but you're still women, and people got to recognize
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's a massively polarizing issue. Yeah, it's kind of the side effects of all this stuff. I mean, I will say my voice is definitely deeper now. There's definitely more hair where didn't used to be. And that's okay. I'll be honest about it. But it's a function of what you're doing. My endocrinology speaking, like my blood work would tell you that I'm more of a dude than a chick because just there's all the testosterone so high. So but that's a part of this process, and it's something that I accepted and I'm okay with. And I feel blessed to say that nothing's happened, I think, too much to my face so far. So still pretty feminine as far as I can tell. You guys can, confirm or deny that, but feels like it's okay so far. But it is a big risk for sure.
Well, the other guy would say it like this. He says, "You are beautiful." Hey, stop it, other guy. I don't like this guy. He's just. I have
Laugh is
to.
creepy.
No, he just. Like I said, I just love that version. Because like that's like I said, he was. If you look on my social media, especially on my YouTube, he's in there. You see, he's right there. He's
Yeah.
he's my avatar. He's like that. I have
Mhm.
quite other personalities. Like I said, I was, you right now you're talking to George McCarthy. That's who I am. Then there's all the way George Page. Originally, I was just George Page because there's another guy named George Page, and a friend of mine told me, said, George, you need to get yourself another name because something different. I said, well, okay. Let's say he told me, said, well, call yourself, because you like the bodybuilding so much, call yourself the king of bodybuilding. I said, king is too. Everybody does king. Everybody does king. So I said, you know what? I remember something, especially if you study history, especially world history. Napoleon, who conquered, after the cat with Louis XVI and his wife, and they pushed out during the French Revolution. He took over France. Instead of calling himself King Napoleon, called himself Emperor Napoleon. And I said, Emperor is more regal. Emperor is, like, it's longer, but it's more regal. And I said, you know what? I want to be the emperor of female bodybuilding talk. And I do live streams. Me and my partner, every Monday, we do live streams, talk about stuff. We also, I'm supposed to later on, when I'm finished with you, I got to do a video for the upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. I usually don't do videos on shows that don't have women's bodybuilding because for a long time, I've been strictly women's bodybuilding fan. I didn't think much of physique. I thought it was watered down women's bodybuilding, but with interviews I've done with the ladies over the past few years, and really stuff I felt like I'm really expanding myself. I did an interview with a couple ladies in bikini. I've done interviews with women in figure. I've done women in physique for quite a bit often. I mean, I've done interviews with women in wrestling and MMA.
Right.
Just as I said again, I love the ladies. And I respect y'all ladies. Like I said, I worked in textiles for 13 years with women. I worked 5-6 years in a strip club with women. I had dudes come and say, "Man, George, you head to the club all night with those girls." I said, dude. You don't really understand. If it's a good night, these girls are really good. But if it's a bad night, there's a couple times I break up some fights. But but it's just anything. If you want it bad enough, you have to put the time in and the work at it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And I love that about the sport. That's definitely the hallmark of the sport is you got to put the time in. I mean, yes, you can enhance things, but it's just a time game. You got to work at it and make sure you get the time to do it. I mean, I started training in 2012. So it'll be 11 years this November, actually, that I've been technically training for bodybuilding, but I started with a coach back in 2016. So it just takes time.
The only thing is, it takes time. Nothing's ever easy. Like I said again, like people always been pointing at bodybuilding, says, "Oh, you're on steroids, you're on this, that." But like I said, steroids is only one of the small factors of it. If you don't follow a diet, you don't be consistent, you don't do the workouts, you don't, like, say you got to work this body part one day, you got to work that body part one day. I know some ladies, their least favorite is doing leg day because sometimes they feel like the episode of Chappelle Show when Charlie Murphy Eddie beat up with James' legs. What my legs, Eddie Murphy? Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I know some ladies say sometimes I feel like after leg day, I feel like I'm crawling out of the gym. Yeah.
That's the best feeling. I love that.
Muscle failure.
Yes, I love that. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was just afternoon. I go work out so often, especially during the weekend. So some days where I lift a few weights here and there. I can't do too much because I got arthritis in my shoulder, getting older, and I got two bad knees. I stone cold Steve often, but I try to do especially I do the treadmill every now and then. I do the bike every now and then, just so I can keep, because like I say, I was almost 500 pounds when my mother passed, and then I really dropped down to around about 420 right now, and it's tough. Like I said, I got to change eating habits. Or 1 week I just did a thing where I just did a sugar fast. I did eat no sugar, other than maybe some fruit every now and then, but just because that taste of that. And your last competition, what was that food that you wanted? What was that favorite food you had that you had? What was that taste for?
For me, so it's funny you mentioned the sugar fast. I actually gave up sugar back at my last show in 2020. It's best decision I've ever made. So at that time I was craving those, you ever see those brownies that have like a donut stuffed inside and a cookie on top or something like that? I used to, don't do that. Don't go there. It's a dangerous rabbit hole. Don't do it. But that was my biggest thing before with the sugar. But now I just love ribs. I like pork ribs.
Oh yeah, I like pork ribs too. I don't eat too much pork like I used to. That's right. Cut that out. One thing I do love is Chinese food. It's just I'm a Chinese loving whore.
Oh,
like buffet place. I remember was it like about a month or so ago? I hadn't eaten for about a couple of months, and I left. I go to work out Planet Fitness. It's like, and I said, I could just go straight home, fix a sandwich, I'd be cool. But then my stomach started talking to me, and the restaurant was just barely maybe a good 5-6 miles from my gym, and I just turned in the parking lot and said, no! Okay, I'm here. It was like,
I'm here.
I'm like Pookie in New Jack City, man. It was calling me, man. It was calling my name. It was calling my name, And sometimes, I mean, one time I was, I left, I said, stop by Burger King, and one lady who I know me saw me. I posted on my social media and said, George, you know better. I said, nah, I don't know better. I don't know better.
Yes, it's so hard. And that's probably, I think you'll hear a lot of bodybuilders say this too. Like the dieting down is one thing, but the cravings afterwards, you have the show, you're reversing out of the, going back into normal life. Those cravings are insane. You can't like help it. It's nuts. So I get that.
Especially now, what's your diet for right now? What's your coach got you eating?
So I'm still on a pretty decent amount of carbs. I tend to be a high carb, low fat kind of dieter. I don't do well with high fat, low carbs. Actually, I can eat carbs and lose weight. It's weird, I know. But I think I'm at 1,800 calories right now, which is a lot, I guess, for some people. It's not a lot for me, but it's okay for now. It's just, moderately low fat and then decently, like middle carbs, tons of protein, high protein.
High protein is good protein. Yeah, that's good. But what if you were still eating sugar? What was your favorite? Like other than the donut with the brownie in it, what was your favorite?
I am a cookie dough sucker. I love cookie dough. Yeah, any kind. I found a protein substitute that I loved, but even then, I would have 4 tubs of that at one time, and it was like, oh, this is a bad idea. So, but yeah, cookie dough, any kind.
I love Krispy Kremes because I used to remember my brother. He lived in the biggest town next over is Fayetteville. It's like about a good 45 miles. My brother used to live up there, and sometimes I would come visit him. And we would sit around and sometimes say, "What you want to taste?" No, I don't want that. We say, I think the lights on and Krispy Kreme says, "Okay, give me a couple of donuts and a thing of milk, and that'll be okay. I'll be okay."
Donuts are so tempting. Oh my god, I haven't had a donut in quite a while. I miss them.
Yeah, you're not missing it. You are missing. I get it. So, anyway,
just folks, lie to me.
Like that's what women always want. We want us to lie to you. Say,
yes.
Honey, you look nice today.
Never ask that question, ladies. Come on, we can't ask that question because there's no right answer, right?
No, you put us men in the corner and we say
no.
I don't know what to do. So sometimes we might have to jump out a window.
Yep, yep. Or just kiss them or something. Don't say anything. Just pull them up and give them a big smooch, and that should hopefully like be
I remember an
enough
episode,
answer.
like one of my favorite shows was the Married with Children. And one time
Okay.
Al had to take a hit for the dog. take, I mean, I loved Al Bundy's and Al Bundy MVP. I love that show, yo. But yeah, is women like yourself, I gotta respect you for what you're doing. I mean, it's like I said again, it's tough. To the money you gotta put into sport, the time you gotta put into sport. There's days where I know you get up in the morning, and you don't want to go to the gym, you don't want to eat this, you don't want to eat that, but to push yourself to do this, that's the tough part about it. That's the thing people got to understand. Like I said again, this is not easy. Any other person, they would say, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna eat myself a big bowl of cookie dough and drink beer. But it's just to keep that commitment and passion. That's why, like I said, that's why I expect ladies like yourself. And just I said again, I wish there was more opportunities for you women in the sport of bodybuilding. I wish there was, like, I know they're gonna go with the girls in bikini because they got boobs bigger than a beach ball, and they're gonna go with the wellness. I tell you the truth, yes, I like a fat ass. I don't gonna lie that, but still, it's just
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know if this is totally just optimistic thinking on my end, but I mean, I see things evolving, and I think they're, in general, my clients are lifestyle clients. I see them trending more towards wanting to be muscular, wanting to be strong, wanting to be fit, not so much these cardio bunnies or being skinny, So I think the general public is appreciating muscles more, and therefore there may be more of an appreciation for the actual sport of muscular women as well. So I think that may happen in the next 5-10 years, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Now,
So,
what person did you in this sport you really look up to? Who's your big fan of?
Who did I see? Actually, I saw Linda Murray. I think she was one of the first chicks that came up when I was looking at muscular women. I saw her back in her heyday, and she just blew me away with her proportions and the fact that she was still very feminine. But she also did a lot of these really cool photo shoots that was showcasing the muscularity, but also being feminine, leaning into that whole artistic side, which is what I do as well. So she's my biggest one right now. And then, in the past. And then, of course, right now is Sarah Viegas is still my top role model right now. So
yeah, she's the good thing about Sarah. She's rich. Yeah, rich. She got a rich husband.
That is very helpful. Yes, I mean, I'd aspire to that too. But that's neither here nor there. But her physique is just amazing, and I love her definition as well. So yeah, hopefully I'll compete with her someday. That's the plan.
Yeah. We got one more here for this is my man. For my man, Rolando G. He says nothing wrong with Mamba Watts is right and correct. Definitely reminds me a little bit of Hella Trevino. And that's one of my favorites too.
And, I love her. Thank you. Wow.
And yeah, Hella, I've been in contact with her a few times on social media. Love to interview with her. I know she a while back. She was living in California, but she moved to Dubai.
Yeah,
last year. One of her friends I interviewed, Gina Carvalho, she now it's a retirement, but then now she's come back to compete. She didn't say what show yet, but she said she wants to come back to compete because I remember I interviewed because she was going through the same thing with medical issues or her issues with her heart, and that's why I said that's why I said, you know what, I really see that in myself. Is this woman here who is in her mid-50s, competitive bodybuilder, and then she's getting sick, but she said she got clearance. She told me that she's cleared. And she's planning on a show. I wish the best for Gina, and I hope she does do pretty good because like I said, you really want to find your place in the sport.
Yes.
Be the top dog, be the mid-card person, or just somebody on the come up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm hoping that I can, do that as an up and comer now. I'm trying to showcase what I'm doing and set a good example for other women, other female bodybuilders, other aspiring athletes, but then hopefully once I get to this top level of pro card status, Olympian status, I want to use that as a way to showcase this art and this sport and, female empowerment, all that good stuff as well, because we need more of that in the world. So
yeah, we need more positive role models like people like Andrea Shaw. I mean, JC does, he just dropped these names here. He says, Hella Trevino, Andrea Shaw, and Giulio are one of my best in the world, yes. And people like Sarah, like I said, I'm not a big Sarah Ville's fan, but I do respect what she's doing. I remember I posted when she was put up money for the show in Pittsburgh last year, and people said, and one lady who will follow my channel said, like, she shouldn't be doing that. But his thing is, who's going to do it? Especially if it's not somebody in the sport, especially the at the time the Miss Olympia champion for physique. Who you expect you're going to do it? I mean, and this is what I also say. I know there's guys out there who are undercover fans of women's bodybuilding who have deep pockets. You could come together and say, you know what? Let's try to sponsor a competitor. Let's try to get more shows for the women in bodybuilding and physique in other divisions. It's like 60, 70 shows for bikini and all the others, but then there's so few. This year they kicked out women's bodybuilding from from a couple from not this year, just some other shows like
this year. Sorry.
Yeah, so like they kicked out from Omaha. They don't have the Puerto Rico Pro.
Right.
There was some shows. A show in Brazil that kicked them out because there were only a few competitors. But it was just like the time when a lot of people was not, especially some women were really prepping. But then, even physique's getting that same stink eye as shows are getting cut, and because divisions like bikini, wellness, men's physique, and men's classes has a faster return. Like I sometimes see like there'll be one division in a show. I'm saying like one division is showing and complaining because we're gonna cut the point system. There's too many competitors. But when you have promoters have like 6 or 7 shows for just like 1 or 2 divisions, it's not the fault of the competitors, it's the fault of the promoters. So you feel like you have problems, tell them to cut back. But it's about money. That's what it is.
That's the thing. You got to follow the money. Exactly.
Yeah. Man, JC Dub, he says, soon Sherry Priami and Christina Nicole Mendoza will be joining those ladies in the top tier athletes. I like them both. I did an interview with Sherry. She's a nice lady. I don't know if she's going to get top tier, especially if somebody's coming up, especially new girls coming from a physique like herself and coming up to women's bodybuilding. But Christina Mendoza's been in and out for a good bit. Also here, JC Dub says, Karen once I think they're referring to me telling Stephanie to flex. Yeah, he acting like she's a protector.
I get that a lot. People feel really safe with me. Actually, that's a big thing on my. Usually, I'll do a big, the NGLs, the anonymous Q&As, and a lot of people will say that. We wish that you could just hold me and protect me from things. It's like, oh, do I need to send some help somewhere or what?
It's like the movie Bodyguard. When I will always love you. That from Karen Costner carrying Whitney Houston. That's what I think. That's what guys fantasy is about. Like the big muscular woman carrying the man off to someplace, whatever else. But yeah, but
I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's a fetish. Hey, we make money off it, just carrying dudes and whatever. But if that's not something you want to do, that's right too. But folks, we do appreciate Stephanie for coming through and talking with us. I mean, we wish her all best of luck in her upcoming season. Possibly we can maybe see her get her pro qualification, and maybe even someday see in Olympia. But and again, guys who are out here who are interested in sponsoring Stephanie, her social media stuff in the description. If you're genuinely interested in supporting these women's sport bodybuilding, reach out. Don't do this. Don't be a guy that's like, Stephanie, I watched that interview you did. You got some big traps. Yeah, you got a pretty smile, if you do something for me, you think I'll do something for you. If you be good to me, I'll be good to you. No. Stop it. Be that guy saying, Miss Watts, I saw your interview. You're a very smart, intelligent young lady. I would love to sponsor you. So whatever you need from me, Miss Watts, let me know. I'm happy to help. I don't want anything from you but see you to grow and to succeed as an athlete. I know there's those guys out there who want something in exchange. Like, this is a true story. I remember when I used to be on the chat room with the guys, how this guy he used to work in sales. So every time he travels, and what he used to do, he used to, if he knew when the schedule for the shows, he tried to set it around his while he's traveling. He'll stop and do the show, check him out. One day, and this is true story. One day he goes to a show. He's sitting in the audience. It's like around about it was either the pre-judgings or the finals. I think it was the finals for women's bodybuilding show. So he's just sitting there chilling, enjoying the show. And here's commotion in the back. So he's saying, what's going back there? So he turns around and he sees security dragging this guy from in the back of the auditorium with his pants down.
No.
this been like about 20-some years ago when he told me the story. We was a bunch of us was in the live stream in the chat room, not in the chat room. He was talking about it. And he said it was crazy. And he was like sitting maybe a couple of chairs down from one of the girls' training and said, "Yeah, I thought they banned that guy. I mean, he's supposed to keep him out of here." Yeah.
Oh no. I get to see that happen to me. I mean, at least I'm not in maybe big enough shows for that to really be an issue. But I mean, yeah, that's a thing. Some people get really into this stuff, and I mean, I totally support it. It's awesome. But yeah, there's public decency too, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey guys, if you feel like doing like that, you know, you see someone like Stephanie, she's shredded, she's popping, she's vascular. Go to the bathroom or go back to your room in the motel, something like that. You know, go in your car. I mean, you know.
Keep it classy, guys.
Yeah,
keep it classy.
Keep it classy. You know, be classy, San Francisco.
Yes, exactly.
No, San Diego. No, that's how you say
San Diego.
San Diego. I think it was San Diego. Yeah, San Diego. Be classy, San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got a man, Rolando G, saying, he says, yes, appreciate Stephanie. Hope we can help a little if you need it. You know, and also JC Dub, he says, nice meeting you, Stephanie. He's giving you a wave. And like I said, folks, if you genuinely want to reach out to Stephanie, and just if you can't like say support financially, just support her as a fan. Like these ladies can use this. So like I said, there's been quite a few times where I had a friend of mine. I made like when I do a little fan art, like how I make that thing for the video. I make a little fan art every so often, you know, and I send them to the ladies who are friends at. Who I do interviews with, and they said, you know what? One lady I sent it to her, she said she was in a bad place, and when she saw it when I sent it to her, she said, "George, thank you for sending that, because sometimes it just made me feel like someone actually cares." And you know, I just do it because, like I said, I don't got nothing else to do. I don't got no wife, I got no kids, I got a lot of free time, and I do that because, like I said, it gives me a purpose.
Yes.
You know, and you know, and as a fan, you ladies, you know, back in the day as a kid, I used to look at the magazines and I get excited, you know, but I got older, and now I learned a lot of stuff from the friendships I have garnered with some of these ladies, and you know, information like some ladies were me and lady earlier this afternoon we were talking about some stuff that was going on right now. And it was good conversation every now. Sometimes there was one lady we just spent an hour just talking about stuff, you know, just sometimes, you know, just learning what you ladies go through day in, day out, you know, between the harassment from people who don't understand what you're doing, and for the guys who just kind of can be a little strange, and how my fella says this: what doesn't kill us make us stranger, you know. And it's just ladies like yourself. Generally, we like to see you. We like to see y'all get more recognition, more respect. We'd like to get you more opportunities. One thing I would love to see if like the organization like NBC, IPC support their athletes, because you know no one comes to see the promoters, the judges, the people behind the scenes. We come to see y'all,
right?
And I think anything you need to be taken care of. You are a valued commodity, and I think it should look out for that. Oh, here's my man KL. He's a hater. He says another lecture from George, y'all. Yes, you don't like it, you can drop off KL. You know, he's cool, but he can be a hater. And like my man Charlie Murphy said, like, and my man Sicky Johnson says, let him hate, he can't hate no more.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah. Can't really say you don't have haters, you're not doing nothing right. Now do something
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So Stephanie, I do appreciate your time. I appreciate you. I wish you all best of luck. I'd like to say thank you to your dad, Mr. Watts. Thank you, sir. You know, we like said, sir, we were very respectful for your daughter, sir. You know, like I said, I just want to be beholden to you for letting her to come on here with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and thank you again. You know, it just, you know, she is, like I said, she is a party woman. I'll tell you about your daughter, sir. But you know, we like to thank everybody came through here. My man KL, the Wanderer, JC Dub, Rolando G, Tony, Eric, you know, Lawrence Perkins. You know, I'm surprised. One person I'm surprised you come here is Balls Deep.
Wow.
Oh, he's a character. I'm surprised he didn't come in here today, yo.
Okay.
Yeah, but he must be someplace, you know, hiding. I know he'll probably be here because I got, like I said, I have an interview with your dear friend, this
Yeah.
week. Yeah, and
I know.
I hope we have a good interview. I did a post about her, and she saw it, she liked it, and she started,
Yeah.
it's good, because she's a young lady who had a lot of potential like yourself.
Yeah.
And I know she
Definitely.
said she's going to do the Miss International coming up.
Yeah.
I think this which is part of the Chicago Pro. I hope her best of luck because like I said,
It is. Yeah.
bodybuilding does need new blood. We do have some competitors been in for a long time, but we get the new competitors like yourself, fresh blood. What's fueling the sport is the new people coming into it.
Right. The
It's
newness. Yes.
and
Yeah.
also you still have the legends like people who've been in the game for a long time, like Cal Javino and also one lady who I will reach out to, Miss Michelle Brent, who's like one of the last true female bodybuilders I could think of.
Yes.
Yeah, she's competing
Yes.
at the master shows coming in, and
That's
and
right.
seeing women like herself, because I do think on comparisons, where it's a video where I compare different bodybuilders. And this month I'm doing dedicated to ladies who are moms. And back in the day, there wasn't that many female bodybuilders that were mothers, but there's quite a few in the last few years because ladies coming to the sport and made their life, or just taking the
That's
time,
right.
like and just respect to these ladies, and I hope you, as Mother's Day's coming up Sunday, so what's your plans, you and dad and mom?
I think I'm actually going to take her out to a Korean spa. So we're going to try that out for the first time together. Yeah.
Go Korean spa?
It's like a whole experience. Yeah. You get the whole jade room thing, the sauna, the scrubbing, the skin, the whole thing. It's going to be a whole thing.
Be careful when Ray says, you want half price GI?
Yes.
You want happy ending? I'm sorry. I remember there was a movie called Full Metal Jacket. Your dad probably knows about it. There's a part in it with the hooker saying, say, well, you want that GI? Say, me be so horny, me love you long time.
Long time. Yes, I've heard that line. Yes.
Yeah. Well, at my age now, I can love you like for half a minute. That's it. I'm done.
That's all right. It's the thought that counts, right?
Yeah. I like my man Bernie Mac. I'm giving you 3 minutes. That's like a heavyweight fight. You get knocked out in the first round.
That's all there is.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, that's all we can do. My man Eric Sacco says, best interview, best bodybuilder, best future therapist. Thank you, Eric, man. Thank you. So, folks, and so again, if you're interested in following Stephanie, her social media stuff in the description. Like I said, if you're someone who's also interested in maybe sponsoring her, because you have a sponsor, like I say, you're doing all this on your own.
I'm doing it on my own. My own.
Yeah. These ladies can use sponsors, and guys, like I said, don't be that guy with that funny look in your eye. No, be somebody who genuinely want to see an athlete go to the next level. Little things that can help these ladies out, because it's tough. It's a sports that's very expensive. I mean, the things you have to do, the things you need, it costs money. But if you are someone genuinely interested in sponsoring, someone like Stephanie or any competitor who can use support and the help, reach out to them with genuine and sincere interest. And also, my rules, guys. My rules. No deep hits.
Yeah.
Stop it. Women don't like that shit. Even women who are not bodybuilders don't like that shit. I mean, I've heard stories how guys. I know you think you got something that everybody wants. No, you don't. You don't. Come on, guys, stop that.
It's it's an occupational hazard, I suppose.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an occupational hazard. It should be just some people need to have some control. We're not animals.
Well, kinda we are.
We're mammals, but we're not animals.
Yeah.
We're mammals, but that's just circumstances and conjecture, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, folks, we'd like to thank Stephanie again for coming through. I'd like to thank my man KL the Wanderer, JC Dub, Tony, Eric, Rolando, Lawrence, Mr. Watts, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You have raised a lovely child. We wish the best of luck for all you, your family. Like I said, do you have anything else someone you want to shout out to before we head out?
Well, I guess I can say Eric's actually the boyfriend. So
that's your man?
That's my man. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good one. So I like him. But no, I honestly, you guys, I'm just so grateful for all this, the recognition, the support. I mean, I'm just a little fish in a very big pond right now. So I'm just trying to pay my dues and get my way up to the top. So thank you for the support.
Yeah. Well, Eric, I would say you're a good man. You're a good man coming here and supporting your girl. You're a good man. You're a good man. And women like that, they always need anybody to support them, especially if you're a good man. So appreciate you coming through. And thank you, Dad. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everybody else. If you want to watch this video, if you missed it, you can watch it again. You follow my channel. Like, subscribe, comment, share. I mean, support these women sport of bodybuilding. Not just women, all competitors. Because like I said, it's a tough sport. And if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Exactly.
Anyway, this is Mal Away George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Love and Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I am out, and have a great rest of your week. And also, all to you moms out there, because it's been 3 years since I lost my mom. Happy Mother's Day.